Hey guys, Dave here. Today I want to talk about living with the MX-5 RF GT as a daily drive. So we're on the way to work and I thought what better way to talk about living with the MX-5 RF GT as a daily driver than doing daily driver duties. So I've had the car now for just coming on 3 months. I've done 4,300 Ks and most of that's been a daily grind to and from work. Previous to this, for the last 8 years, I've been in a Focus XR5 Turbo or Focus ST, depending on where you're from in the world. So I've been used to having a 5-door, 4-seater hatchback that can basically fit whatever I want, whenever I want. When the RF GT came out, I knew, well actually just the RF in general, I knew that I wanted one. Unfortunately not in a position where I can have one just as a Sunday car or a track car, fun car. It would have to be one that would fulfill all roles, so that includes daily driver duties. So I was a little bit worried going into such a small 2-seater sports car. You feel paranoid that, you know, as soon as you get something like that, you're going to have to cart a whole bunch of kit around or something like that, or take, 3 other people around all the time. But I found in the past 3 months that just hasn't been an issue. What I wanted to do in this video was go through some of the things that I still love just as much now as I did when I first picked up the car. Talk about some things that I thought would annoy me, which really haven't been an issue at all. And then also talk about a few things that started off as a little bit annoying, but really are, in my opinion, problems with the car. Now, I will say straight off the bat that the problems I pick with the car, they're first world problems at its finest. Like, they're really not that much of an issue, but if you're going to live with a car day in, day out, things that can be slightly annoying, they can grow. So let's start with some of the negatives, get them out of the way. So the biggest fault that I've found with the car so far is the window switches. So they're automatic on the way down, but they're not automatic on the way up, and that actually drives me nuts. And I did warn you that these faults would be petty. I'm not sure what the go is, so if you happen to know, please hit me up. At first I thought it might have been a safety issue with the roof, but I've noticed that as soon as the roof is in action, the window switches are disabled anyway, so I don't think it's that. Clearly the windows can do it because they go automatically down, so why wouldn't they be able to go automatically up? I don't know. Apart from that, things that I thought were going to be an issue that really haven't been, the infotainment system. When you're at a standstill, the screen is a touch screen. You can use the command dials, that's fine. As soon as you're moving though, the touch screen is disabled, so you can only control the dials down here. I thought that was going to be really irritating, and at first when I got the car, it was something that really did annoy me. And in all honesty, I think within a couple of days I was over it. It was fine. Really hasn't been much of an issue at all. The switch for the roof. At first I was confused as to why you would flick a switch up to make the roof go down and flick the switch down to make the roof go up. But then you sort of figure that that's the way, the direction of the roof. So when you pull the switch up, that's the way the roof's disappearing away from you. I did warn you these were very petty. The USB ports, I was told that they're not very powerful. So if you have a smartphone that if you're using for maps or Pandora or something like that, they're not very powerful to charge the phone. Sometimes they won't charge it at all. Once again, 3 months of ownership, I have not plugged a single thing into those ports, so not a problem. Another thing that I thought would be an issue is the 12-volt socket was conveniently located by Mazda in the passenger footwell. I don't really understand their rationale in doing that, but I had a feeling that was going to be something that would annoy me. Once again, the first time I actually sighted the 12-volt plug was to make this video, just to do this B-roll. So obviously that really isn't that much of an issue at all. You can sort of sense the theme here that things that I thought were going to be annoying really aren't. This car's just been brilliant to own and drive. Now let's go on to the things that I originally loved about the car and I still love. So I love the seating position, that's number one. You drop into this car because it is quite low, especially compared to a standard hatchback, but the seating position is unreal. I'm not a tall guy, as I've discussed, but the steering wheel, the gear stick, it's all in really easy reach. The pedal weights, the way the pedals are related to each other, so the accelerator and the clutch, they all just work together really nicely. The accelerator and brake, they're nicely spaced, so even a numpty like me can do heel and toe. Just overall, all the driver inputs, really nice to use. And that also goes for the materials that they've used on this car. this is the most expensive car I've ever bought, but I also understand that this is a cheap car to a lot of people. However, for me, the materials that were used at this price point, really nice. The leather on the steering wheel is nice to touch, the gear stick's nice. Because this is a GT, I get the heated leather seats. Also because this is a black roof edition, or launch edition as it's known in the States, you get this Napa leather. Having the heated seats is unreal. I bought this car in the middle of winter from the Blue Mountains, so probably one of the coldest places I could go to buy the car. So using the heated seats was unreal. They got me through winter really nicely, and it was a luxury I was used to in my old cars. So power is something that gets talked about a lot as well, that oh, the MX-5 doesn't have that much power and blah 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 blah. Once again, daily driver duties, chugging along to work, stuck in traffic, in all honesty this has more than enough power. It's an extremely light car, as you all know, and having 155 horsepower to pull along just over 1,000 kilos is perfectly adequate, as we have someone almost causing an accident. Welcome to Sydney. So really the car feels light on its feet through traffic, changing lanes, darting around, all really nice, pulling away from lights. Once again, no issues at all. I haven't missed the power at all on my daily driving duties. I do admit there have been a couple of times on the highway where I've wanted to do an overtake and I've had to remember, oh hang on, okay, I don't have the power that I used to. But once again, not that much of an issue. The suspension is really nice for daily driving. The roads where I live, they're not too bad, but they're not the best in the world. You can feel the suspension is doing a lot of work, but the car feels planted. So you know the suspension is working very hard to keep you comfortable, and I think it does a very good job of that. Another concern I had was storage. So once again, having a 5-door hatchback, there was storage galore. You then come into an MX-5 that doesn't have a glove box. It has a tiny little cubby hole between the driver and passenger. It has 2 little secret compartments behind the driver and passenger, which I've never even looked at, and it has a very small boot. Only issue I've had so far is that my umbrella doesn't fit in the boot. I did tell you it was going to be first world problems. So once again, this car, any sort of reservations I had have been misguided, been misfounded. And the fun that this car has given me on daily driver duties has just been unreal. So whether you've had a good, bad or indifferent day at work, being able to throw the roof down and then just cruise on home is unreal. It's just been such an awesome experience to have this car. As I say, this car had to be all things to me, so it has to be able to be fun on a twisty road, it has to be a good daily driver. Hopefully I'll be taking it to the track soon, so I want it to be able to go to the track. And as far as daily driver duties go, this gets a big tick. Okay guys, well that's it from me. I just wanted to do a quick video about what it's been like to own the MX-5 RF GT as a daily drive. Through all the reservations I had, I was proven completely wrong. The MX-5 is an amazing daily driver. So in the near future I hope to do a video about taking it to the track and see what it's like there, and then of course do a video about what it's like as a GT. So if you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.